Okay, the purpose of this video is to dismantle the argument that Favyn is making that he was bashing Halo Infinite before launch. I'm claiming he was not bashing this game before launch, and he claims that the video he's posted to me, the last 3 minutes, shows that he was bashing the game before launch. Okay, so we're going to check out some tweets, we're going to check out some stuff here, and we're going to see if we can stick a video together here that makes some fucking sense, because we're all over the place here. So, Halo Evolve put out this, basically saying this. I'm not going to read everything because they'll be here all night. And then it was to do with Favyn's video here being his most viewed video ever, 130k plus views or something on this video he put out after launch. So my response to this was, you understand he's been waiting until after the game came out to bash it, while taking money and perks from free for free to keep quiet until after launch. So my assertion is he's a forerunner, he's within the remit of free for free, and we do not know what that entails. We can only speculate because we're never going to know the actual official or even unofficial stuff or what a forerunner can say about the game before launch, because they will have been, because 3 for Free are a shady company, so they will have had a script that they had to follow. Stuff that they can say, stuff that they can't say, when they can say it, who they can say it to, how they can deliver it, etc., etc., what they can talk about. And we already know this because they couldn't talk about what they were seeing about the game because it was under NDA. Yet you see people like Debunking doing reaction videos. And we also see Favyn here doing a reaction video. That is the video he has sent to me. But the video he's sending, he was already working on the game. He'd already seen the game. So again, this is a double mindfuck. So he's talking to us as though the only thing he's seen is the bit of the game that he's showing, but in actual fact, he's been working on the game behind the scenes. And that is just dishonest. And that is shady. Okay? And we can go about it any way you want. It's still shady, right? Doesn't matter if it was from a legal standpoint or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's shady. That's it. That's all I'm saying. So we got a lot of people responding here, but I wanted to single out Rony Street because it's relevant to what is said later. So Rony says, this is my issue too. Why work on a game just to what? Shit on it a few months after launch just to call yourself a forerunner? I don't buy it. I have no doubt he cares about the game, but I wager he cares more about his own success / reputation. Okay? Remember that quote, because it's going to be very important later. So, in any event, later in the post, he claims that the last 3 minutes of this video here is going to somehow be him bashing the game. And it's going to summarize the video. This is what he claims. Okay, now I've got the tweets to hand. We're going to go through them later, but let's do the video first, because that's going to be the bit that most people are going to want to see. So I'm going to do what he said. I'm doing exactly what he said, but I'm going to give him 4 minutes 57. I'm going to give him more time, because I'm just going to give him the last 4 minutes 57 there, because it's a 25-minute video, effectively. So I'm giving him nearly 5 minutes here. All right? So I'm giving him an extra 2 minutes to show me what the fuck he means by this is a summary of this video, supposedly, and it shows that he was bashing the game before launch. Now, keep in mind that this video, he was already working for free for free behind the scenes. This is a 20 July, this is already a year in to the Forerunner program or whatever, supposedly, right? So everything he says in this video, he was already working on the game. Okay.
Have on-map pickups, but that's kind of it, right? Well, maybe there's a few more nuggets we can find in this campaign demo. Let's talk about weapons. If your game is going to be sandbox driven with a very standard set of base mechanics, your weapons better be straight fire. Did you know this demo showed us 5 guns we have never seen in the franchise before? Wow.
He's talking like that, but he's already played some of the game and some of these weapons.
That's a lot. That's good. New gun, sandbox-driven game. That's what we want. The problem is none of them did anything we haven't seen before. Every new gun was so cookie-cutter, so formulaic and redundant. Now, Halo's always had a bit of redundancy in its sandbox, even in the Bungie era, but this is next level. A generic...
Favyn gets a buzzword in his head and then he keeps repeating it. Okay, his new one is sandbox. Before that it was enhanced mobility, and before that it was just sprint. You know, and spin-off games, he always bashes those. He's got these isms, his Favyn-isms that he keeps doing over and over again. I don't know why he has to keep repeating the sandbox narrative, okay? All games have a sandbox. That just means everything in the game. It's just a terminology thing. Because the game is fenced off, so it's within a sandbox. There's just a terminology thing. So why does he keep going on about the sandbox? And then this spills into other YouTubers like LNG start repeating him and stuff. Very strange.
Generic assault rifle, but with a slower fire rate and a scope. A battle rifle, but it's plasma this time. This gun basically is the same thing, only with rounds that slightly arc and cause splash damage. It's just a grab bag of the same attributes being used in various combinations, and the game itself literally tells you that's what it is. If you watch closely in the demo, when Chief picks up a new weapon, it highlights its details. Now, maybe I'm asking too much, but I'd like weapons that are a little more interesting than this. Weapons that have unique functions, that create unique gameplay. Something more than just shotgun, kinetic, spread. Oh boy, it's the shotgun, but it's got slightly adjusted attributes. The new gameplay opportunities are endless. I mean, it's literally like they took all the weapon classes, all of the ammo types or faction types, and the different firing modes, and threw them into bags. Then they pull out 3 and went, oh, okay, rifle, plasma, burst rifle. Cool, that's a new gun. It's like they're selling you redundancy as a feature. And I don't care how many new weapons...
So again, to point out, this is his claim that this video proves that he was bashing the game before launch. So I'm pretty sure that this video about this campaign demo is not going to cover microtransactions. It's not going to cover the free-to-play. It's not going to cover the delay of co-op. It's not going to cover delay of forge, game modes. It's not going to cover shit. So what way is he bashing the game here? By saying that the weapons are slightly wank? And this is his claim that he was bashing the game before launch. Clearly this is the softest fucking video I've ever seen. So he's not bashing the game before launch. He's just not doing that.
Than it has. If they're not interesting in creating new potential gameplay, then they're failing to serve a sandbox-driven experience. When you get
There it is again.
past the newness of a gun, its sounds, its effects, what you have are mechanics. And these guns, so far, do not seem mechanically interesting. And I find that concerning for the campaign and multiplayer. What about the new equipment? They called it equipment. They said it will act as on-map pickups like equipment. Clearly, they are trying to associate it with the Halo 3 system. Isn't that great? This isn't equipment. So, in Halo 3, equipment were neutral abilities. If I threw a bubble shield, it affected me the same way it affected my opponent. My only advantage was that I controlled when and where it was used. Certainly an advantage, but not without also sometimes hindering you. For instance, you had cover, but you couldn't shoot back. Same with the regen field. If an enemy walked in it, they'd be healed. Same with the grav lift. Anybody could use it. The grapple shot and the drop wall are designed to strictly benefit the player, at least most of the time. If I pick up a grapple shot, I become more powerful. If I pick up a drop wall, I can shoot out of the side that I'm on. It's really something completely different. It's not equipment, and it's not like I think Halo 3's equipment was executed all that...
Kind of, but not really.
Great, and maybe there's pieces we haven't seen that will be more neutral and less just strict upgrades. But do you think an energy field that people can hide behind and shoot you from in multiplayer sounds fun? It's new.
It's very similar to the regen field, what he just said. If you're being shot across the map and someone's in a regen field, that in effect is the same thing as the shield that he's talking about. It's very, very, very similar. You know, you're only vulnerable to, like, sniper. That's basically it. It's very similar.
But I'm not sure it's fun. And the neutral nature of Halo 3's equipment at least acted as a self-check and balance. Like, hey, this can be used against me if I don't use it right. And these
I'm sorry, the power drainer in Halo 3 was OP as fuck. And did that really hurt the player? I mean, you throw it into the base and it kills 3 guys? Like, again, this is Favin's narrative of Halo 3 is always superior, but it just doesn't wash when you actually think about it. How does the power drainer impact you the same way? Yeah, it can take your shields off, but you're not going to throw it at yourself. So in effect, it's the same thing. The fucking weaponry in Halo 3 has the exact same fucking attack shit as fucking Halo Infinite, right? Realistically, it's just that the Halo Infinite ones are even more OP, but the fact that it's like, oh, it's like it's more balanced or some bullshit. I'm sorry, the regen field was unbalanced. The fucking blue ball of death, as I call it, like I say, is unbalanced. So I don't know what he's talking about. But again, this is not in any way showing that he was bashing the game. What he's doing is he's saying that the gameplay in this game is not superior to Halo 3's gameplay, in his opinion. And that's a totally different argument to the game is fucking shit because it's a free-to-play piece of shit game. There's a totally different argument, right? Right? So he wasn't bashing the game before launch. He wasn't bashing the fucking store. He wasn't bashing the microtransactions. He wasn't bashing the live service, the fact the content was delayed or any of this. This video does not show that. So where is his argument for this? He has no argument for this. So I'm saying he's doing soft as a brush fucking videos before launch. And then after launch he's bashing the game because he's allowed to do that, because 343 then allow him to do that. Because he's a forerunner working on the game behind the scenes.
Seem more one-sided. Maybe not totally, but I think you get the picture. Well, I'm spent. I know this is a lot to pull from 8 minutes of footage, but this is how I think about game design.
But it's not just pulled from 8 minutes of footage because he was already playing the game.
And when I see what Infinite just showed us, and I followed the trail of its influence and pieced all of these components together, my heart sank. The game doesn't visually look good. I don't think it's mechanically interesting, and all of its potential looks to be compromised or overshadowed by 343's attempt at finding a middle ground that I just don't think exists. Sure, there's a lot we haven't seen, and I would love nothing more than to be proven wrong about all of this. If you can come back to this video a year from now and make me eat crow and show me that Infinite was the best thing ever and the most beloved Halo game ever made, nobody would love that more than me. But this is what I see, and this is what I believe, and as much as I'd like to join you all on the Infinite hype train, I have to stay behind and stick to my gut. The game doesn't look ready. Flat out, plain and simple. It was utterly underwhelming, and that doesn't bode well for Halo's future. And as a fan of this franchise, for what is about to be 2 decades, I am terrified of the final product. And no, I don't mean, oh, it's just not for me. No, fuck that. I'm worried it might just be a bad game. Like, I'm getting Anthem vibes. Something feels wrong. So, I hope I'm wrong. I don't say this because I hate Halo. I say this because I've loved it since I was a little kid. But I loved it because it was good. I loved it because Halo was special. Not just because it said Halo on the box. And I want Halo to be special again. Till next time.
Right. So that's the softest video in the history of videos. Could you class that as bashing? Really? Like I said, waiting till after the game came out to bash it while taking money and purchase from 343 to keep quiet until after launch. The statement holds up, man. Okay, if you're telling me that that is the best you have, the best argument you can present to me, that you would fucking... You've lost. You were not bashing this game before launch. You didn't bash it when it was no co-op. You didn't bash it when there was no Forge. You didn't bash it when there was no game modes coming. You didn't fucking put 2 and 2 together about any of this shit. You didn't bash the fact that there's a store. You didn't bash the fact there's microtransactions. You didn't bash the fact that it's a live service model, okay? Where was the bashing? It's insanity. So what he's done is he's doubled down on his previous bullshit videos about gameplay. But that's not bashing the game. This is the channel called Favin Changing Gaming. Alright? He's changing gaming by going to work behind the scenes at 343 while pretending he's not, giving impressions on a fucking trailer or a fucking gameplay demo, But he's already really playing the game behind the scenes. How dishonest is that? But we're supposed to take him seriously. This was his response. He posted me that video, and then later on he said, you only need the last 3 minutes. The last 3 minutes is like a summary, right? I don't think that was a summary. I think he's got this completely wrong. But those last 3 minutes, all he's doing is criticizing the gameplay in comparison to Halo 3. That's it. He doesn't bash the live service or nothing. So what was he talking about? How is he bashing the game? What does he do in his new video? I'm pretty sure he's going to talk a lot more about this stuff in his new video than I am now talking about. I haven't even watched that video, but I'm guessing he does. Right? I'm guessing he does. So why did he not do that before launch? There you go. There's my assertion. There's my reaction. He's trying to claim that a video in 2020 disproves this statement. How does it? So I say, you're just digging yourself a bigger hole. Because I skimmed through it and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, right? He says, here I am a year before launch discussing issues which you said I didn't do. No, I said you didn't bash it before launch. Bash. You understand he's waiting until after the game came out to bash it, okay? Anyone can make a lukewarm, weak source video about how you prefer one type of gameplay to another, which is essentially what he fucking come out with. He didn't discuss the business model or any of that bullshit, what I've just been talking about. He didn't talk about no co-op at launch. Where was that video? Now, later on here, he's going to claim that he was too busy to make that video, but he's got plenty of time to fucking go behind the scenes at 343. You're telling me he didn't have time to make any of these videos before launch? No, he wasn't allowed to say shit about that before launch because he was under some kind of embargo with 343. They wouldn't let him do anything like that. They wouldn't let him bash the fact there's no co-op coming at launch. Or he didn't feel comfortable doing that. Whether they specifically said he could or he couldn't or whatever, once you are fucking working for somebody, then you go, oh, if I say the wrong thing, maybe they're going to kick me out of the program, whatever. So even if they didn't directly say, you can't do this, you can't do that, that's kind of not the point. The point is he didn't do any of this stuff, and I'm saying it's because he was under fucking NDA. So, like I say, I'll have to respond to that video if that's the hill you want to die on. Alright? So, this video, while it does say negative things about the game, it's clearly not bashing the game. It's clearly not doing what I'm fucking claiming here. I'm not claiming he's never said he didn't like the fucking look of the rifles in 2020. Or he didn't like the look of the fucking graphics and the, you know, he didn't think they were up to par. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he didn't bash the game. I'm saying he didn't come out clear as day and say, look, this is unacceptable, no fucking co-op. This is unacceptable, no fucking Forge. These problems were in Halo fucking 5. Okay? So he didn't bash any of this stuff. And that's a fact. What I'm saying there is a fact. So now we're going to go through a conversation here. Just so we give the man a chance to defend himself. Okay? Before everybody jumps down my throat. Oh, you're fucking bashing him, blah, blah, fucking blah. Alright. Also, you know, you can just message me if you want clarity. Conversations don't always have to be one way from a video. Okay? So I say, well, if you want me to watch a 25-minute video that you claim shows you bash the game before launch, I might as well do a video response. If it does what you say, then why are you concerned about it? If the video in question, right, because this was his ace in the hole, because the way he sent it, it seemed very condescending, like, look, me keeping quiet until after launch, haha, I'm going to post this and show that I wasn't keeping quiet until after launch, because I've got this video that proves that I wasn't keeping quiet until after launch. But this video doesn't prove any of that. All that video does is show that he, in a lukewarm fucking video, talked about Sandbox, which is like a dreamer's fucking dream, okay? Just mentioning the word sandbox seems to get fanboys' juices flowing. It's like, I don't know why. It means nothing. It's just a buzzword. And then we're going to talk about this weapon, and we're going to talk about the armor abilities, we're going to talk about this, that, and the other. But not talk about the real issues of the game, like the lack of content. Okay? Now, you can claim, well, this video is from before then. Well, that's the point. Where are his videos leading up to launch? Where are any of his content before launch? Okay? Because we all saw that he was a forerunner for the game and he's in the end credits for the game. He was either censored by 343 or self-censoring himself. So, this is my argument. I said you didn't bash the game before launch. You only bashed it after, as you were working in part for 343 in the Forerunner program. The video you sent was from 2020, utter underwhelming, with the remark, me keeping quiet till after launch. So he says, correct, I was part of the program when that video released, right? I was never silenced from giving negative feedback. Okay, but you didn't give any negative feedback between that video and launch. So we can't believe this statement. Whether you were silenced or whether you just didn't do it because off your own bat, because you were worried what they would think, it's the same principle. 343 had no such restrictions, and I was encouraged to be honest. I seriously doubt that statement. I think there's a lot of like nudge nudge wink wink kind of situation going on at 343. Whether it's explicitly said that you can't say this, that, and the other, it would be expected. That's all I'm saying. Thus, I think you have a few misconceptions about what the group is and what our influence was, etc. Well, nobody knows what that group was about, or the influence was, or ever will, because it's all shady as fuck behind the scenes, and no one fucking... It wasn't in the open for people to see. It wasn't transparent. 343 didn't come out and tell us this was going on. It's a shady, behind the scenes fucking operation, right? So nobody knows what actually went on. We can only guess what nefarious dealings went on. So that's what I put here. It is anybody's guess what the rules and expectations were for joining such a group, right? The whole thing was shady. Well, on the above point, does that video show you actually bashing the game in any serious fashion, or is you claiming that false, right? So he's got my conference anthem, lol. I'm not sure why you think I'm some sort of shill. Because you're working for the company behind the scenes in a shady organization with Ubernick and other shills and the Green Skulls and the LNGs. Why would we not think you're a shill when you're in a club of shills? Literal shills. Why would you not be seen as one of the shills when you hang around with all the shills? You're in the same group with all the shills. If the shoe fits, wear it, man. I'm 100% okay with you disagreeing with me or not liking my content. Is it possible they asked for feedback and I gave it? I'm also continuing to do so, which means this is still ongoing. Okay, so this is a scoop right here. The Forerunner program is still ongoing in some fashion, right? So I put, how can you not be a shill if you're doing work for the company behind the scenes that your viewers don't know about? It wasn't an open thing that most people knew was going on. It was shady. You must have at least expected people would see it that way. Right? So even if he's trying to claim that there's nothing shady about this, right? And, you know, he's got the inside scoop that it's perfectly legit and it's not shady. From the outside, it's always going to look shady. So he has to have been aware that it would look shady, right? So... And it is shady, but I'm just like throwing out there that even if you're going to claim it's not shady, it looks shady. Okay, so he says, I was brought in to give feedback in private, just as I do publicly. Obviously, when dealing with this stuff, you are under NDA. And I followed that, of course. Okay? Of course he did. Which is why he didn't bash the game between fucking then and the fucking launch. Maybe he wasn't allowed to fucking say hardly anything. I don't know. We've only got, you know, his claim that he could say whatever he wants. When the information became public, I could speak freely on it. But the information on the Forerunner program came out actually before the campaign's launch, but after the free-to-play launch, right? So he didn't bash the game before launch. That was my claim. The free-to-play launch was the launch. Okay, and then he didn't even bash it before the campaign launched. So he just didn't bash this game before launch. This is a simple fact. This is my claim. I'm saying you were given special treatment by the company. Again, we can only speculate on the exact details of what was expected, but we can see that it's shady to work for them behind the scenes without disclosing it. Some of you were given jobs in the company after launch. See Ascend Hyperius, or whatever the fuck that person's name is, right? So some of these people that were doing this were given actual jobs at 343. If that doesn't sound shady, I don't know what does. But Favin's just seems to like got this like high fucking like I don't know what to say. Like he just can't see that it's shady, or he's in denial that it's shady, right? Even though it obviously is. And on the above point, I see no obvious clear example of you bashing the game in a serious fashion before launch, but I am happy to watch any video / timestamp that proves my statement to be false. Right? Like we just did. We just watched that video, and what am I seeing? I'm seeing him say, the gameplay is not as good as Halo 3. He's attacking armor abilities. He's saying that the abilities don't work, even though it's stuff I don't agree with. Okay, yeah, all fucking perfectly fine points. But he's not arguing, he's not really bashing anything in the game. He's not attacking the microtransactions. He's not attacking the fact there's no content at launch. All stuff that I'm sure he says in his new video. All stuff that I'm sure he fucking says. Like, where's the co-op? Where's the forge? I'm sure that's all in his new video. But that video came out after launch. If these things were important, they should have been before launch. This is my claim. Okay? And if his new video's fucking doing this stuff, great. But it's too fucking late. Too fucking late. The game needed to be delayed. And now it can't be delayed because it's fucking here. So he says, give the last 2 or 3 minutes. We watched 5 minutes nearly of that video, and I can safely say that that does not fucking dispute my fucking claim. Do I bash it as hard as you? No. But it is consistent with the rest of my content that I did not change. That's the main thing. Consistent with the rest of his content. So you're telling me in his new video, he doesn't attack microtransactions. He doesn't attack no co-op. He doesn't attack no fucking forge. He doesn't attack the live service model. None of these points are brought up in his new video either. Is that what he's claiming? Because I'm claiming he never fucking said any of this shit before launch. He never attacked the game before launch. Never bashed the game before launch. Not that he didn't argue that fucking Halo 3 was a better game or not. No, he didn't outright say, don't buy this game. Or, you know, we see the fucking shit coming. Delay the game, for fuck's sake. Delay it. It's fucking needs delaying. You know? That's what I'm talking about when I say bashing. Not, oh, well, fucking the plasma rifle fucking sucks. Okay. Well, that's not what I'm saying. Okay, so I say that video is only based on that Fierce trailer in 2020. I'm guessing the whole range of topics were not covered between then and launch. Did you talk about missing content in a negative way? I haven't seen any clear examples of this. Clearly we disagree on that because you are working with the company without disclosing it, as were several people that 343 wanted on side to push the game. It's easy to bash a game after launch, as the company won't mind and the fanboys will have accepted the game as trash by then. This is another point. If you bash a game before launch, that negatively impacts your fucking channel, because people don't want to hear negative things about a game they're hyped for. They want to hear positive things. So if you bash a game before launch, okay, that takes fucking courage. That takes fucking integrity, right? Saying it after launch means nothing. Everybody already knows the game's a pile of shit because they already fucking played it. Say it before. Say the truth. If you're supposed to be this master analyst that you claim that you are about fucking gameplay, then bash it before launch. What's the point in bashing it after? Everybody already knows the game is wank after launch. They might not know why, but they fucking know it's wank. Okay, what is the relevance? The game wasn't out, and I was critiquing it harshly before launch. Is that not your point? In the past, yes, I haven't made a lot of content because I became a father. If you weren't aware, and focus on that. Okay, so becoming a father, okay, like this is just a fucking redundant argument, okay? My claim was that he did not bash the game before launch. Why he didn't bash the game before launch is up for debate. That is up for debate. I'm saying it's because 343, he was working for 343 behind the scenes. That's why he didn't bash the game before launch. That is a claim, that is a speculation. Okay, I cannot prove that, but it's a speculation. Now, his claim is he didn't bash the game before launch because he was being a father at home. So he didn't have the time to make videos. That's his claim. But the facts that I said that he did not bash the game before launch and only bashed it after, which is what a lot of these channels do, for reasons stated, is true. He didn't bash the game before launch. That's a fact. Right? Why is still up in the air, but we can only speculate. I'm not accepting that as an excuse. You can accept that as an excuse if you want, but I'm not. Okay? So I say you made the time after launch to bash the game. You made the time to work with 343 behind the scenes, but you did not bash before launch, which was my original point. Maybe I am reading into it with the forerunner stuff, but that's all we can do, is we will never know the truth. We will never know the truth of the matter on that forerunner stuff. We can only surmise, we can only laugh and joke and have a guess and speculate. We will never know the truth. And even if they come out and tell us the truth, we'll have to take it with a fucking cup of salt. Not a grain of salt. So he says, I hope we get to tell you someday. And as for my time, I actually hired someone to edit the new video for me specifically because I did have so little time. And it took like a month and a half to finish it anyway. Okay. My son was born in late 2020, far after I become a forerunner. Okay, so I said, well, that's something we can agree on. On the YouTube videos do take time, but my original point is that you only bash the game after launch. Okay, this is the argument that we started on here. This is all this ring around the rosy. I'm trying to just argue this fucking point. That's a fact. It's true. It does not seem to be the case. Great that you got 130k views. I would certainly like more info behind the scenes. I would love more info on what's going on behind the scenes with the Forerunner program, with the pilot scheme, with all that shit. I would love more information on that. But we don't have it. We can only speculate. The only people that know are the people that know. The people that are in it. And 343 doesn't want them to tell us anything about it. Why is that? What's the secret here? The more secret it is, the more shady it is. Okay, so he says, but my video posted a year before shows that I did criticize the game before launch as well. All I'm saying. Okay, but this is not what I'm saying, is it? This is obviously not my argument. My argument is not that he's saying, oh, a fucking plasma rifle is not as good as the plasma rifle in fucking Halo 3. That's not my argument. I'm saying he didn't bash the game in any serious fashion. That's my point. And then he's going to pull this fucking... I'm not going to say the word, but you know what I'm saying. He's going to try and make out like this fucking disproves that. It doesn't. If we ever get the green light, he'll be happy to tell you and everyone about it. Well, there's something I'd like to know. There's, you know, I want to know. Because clearly this is fucking shady. And it's never going to come out. 343/MS are a shady company. The recent 20 million claim is possibly true, but it isn't a reflection of the state of the game, which makes it fake news. If you are behind the scenes working with these people, then don't be surprised that the rep rubs off on you. If you work with people who are shady, like fucking Sketch and Kiki and Bonnie Ross and, you know, whoever the fuck else they've got working there behind the scenes, people who tell lies, like they did in that fucking overview with the multiplayer. If you're fucking working behind the scenes with these people, don't be surprised when people go, well, these guys are fucking working with these fucking guys who are fucking shady as hell. These guys are talking shit, therefore can we believe anything this guy's telling us? It's not rocket science. And he says, that's understandable, and I knew that was a possibility, but I'm confident that my content proves my genuine intentions and that my integrity will remain unquestioned. How can his integrity remain unquestioned? Okay, we'll continue. Good is good and bad is bad. Were I disingenuous, it would eventually reveal itself. I assure you it won't. Okay. So, integrity remains unquestioned. I don't see how you think it's unquestioned. You can't work behind the scenes for years for a shady company and be unquestioned. People will judge. What we know is enough to be seen as shady. People will speculate the rest. Okay, so what we already know is shady. We know a bunch of people were given, positions behind the scenes at 343. Not paid positions. I'm not saying that, but, they were given perks. They were flown out there for free. They were stayed in hotels and all that bullshit. We know that happened, right? So we know it happened. Favyn can't argue against that. We know that happened. We have the facts on that, right? So, again, this is fucking shady, right? We can speculate other stuff that we don't know. We're going to speculate. All of us are going to speculate on what they could say, what they can't say. But we can see what they actually did. And that's objective. We can see that Favyn did not bash the game before launch. That's objective. Okay, why the reasons are, then we're speculating. Okay, so he says, I did not work for them. How are you not working for them in any type of capacity when you're behind the scenes doing testing effectively? That's working. Gameplay testing or whatever is work. What else is it? What else would you call it? Testing an unfinished game. How is that not work? I did not work for them. I provided feedback on a product and I was not paid to do so. My integrity shows through my content. I'm still giving 343 feedback, but I can now do that publicly because the game is public. Yes. Okay, we get it. You think your integrity is intact, right? But that's what you think. Okay, I'm telling you now, your integrity is not unquestioned. How can it not be unquestioned when you're working behind the scenes for a shady company? I don't understand why he thinks that, but that's what he's claiming, right? So I'm giving him the full chance here to, I'm going through everything because I'm not going to have him turn around and say I've left something out that he's fucking said, or I don't want that. I want it all out in the open, what's being said here, okay? I don't want it, you're taking what he said out of context and all this bullshit. No, I'm telling it like it is, straight down the middle here. Not all work is paid for in the same way. If there was no benefit to doing the work, why would you be doing it, right? So this is getting interesting here now. No one is going to believe that you did not get any perks from the company. There would also be expectations, unwritten rules, etc. Because, as I have said, 343 is shady. So what are the unwritten rules? All fucking walks of life, jobs, even like girlfriends, whatever. There's unwritten rules. There's just unwritten rules. Everybody knows this. When you interact with other people, there's unwritten rules. When you interact in workplaces, like say, with girlfriends, with friends, there's just unwritten rules. There's stuff you just don't do because, So what are the unwritten rules? Doesn't mean that it has to be specifically said, you can't do this, you can't do that. He's still got the pressure of doing this behind the scenes. So that's going to stifle his creativity or stifle his, response. Obviously, even if he's not actually told he can't bash fucking no corp at launch, he didn't bash no corp before launch, right? Was that because he felt pressure because he was working behind the scenes? Or did they just say, flat out tell him he can't do that? Either way, it's the same fucking... The same fucking result. Okay, so he did it for resume, insight, and experience were big ones. Considering I would like to work in the games industry someday, it was a no-brainer. So this goes back to Roni's tweet. That's what Roni said. He said, this isn't about the game or whatever. Okay, that's why Roni was saying, oh, well, this is Roni's problem because he's saying Favin bashes the game after launch, after working on it behind the scenes. So why do that? And he's saying he was saying it's because it's about Favin establishing his channel and his brand and whatever, not about anything to do with the game. So Roni's saying, yeah, I'm sure he cares about the game, but I'm sure he cares more about himself and his own fucking situation, right? Well, that's basically what he says here. That's exactly what he says here. Okay? He did it for personal reasons. He wants to work in the game industry. You know, he wants to get experience, you know, good for his CV if he goes to try and work at Activision or, well, they are Microsoft now, name another one. Sony, whatever. If he wants to go work somewhere, you know, in the game industry, you know, somehow, some way in his future, you know, he'll have experience because he was behind the scenes on this Forerunner project, right? It'll look good on his CV. That's what he's saying, right? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But none of that disputes my actual claim from the beginning that he's not bashing the game. He's not bashing the game, okay? That's why, and, you know, this stuff is in effect perks in itself. Like he's saying, you get a good resume, you know, you get insight, you get, you know, experience, you get all these things, and you get expenses paid, fucking trips and stuff, right? So you get all these perks behind the scenes. What did he have to do to get those perks? Is the part we speculate on. So I said, yeah, that's pretty much what Roni said. Why work on this is Roni's quote. Why work on the game just to shit on it a few months after launch, just to call yourself a forerunner? I don't buy it. I've no doubt he cares about the game, but I'd wager he cares more about his own success, just reputation. This is the thing here. This is what he's saying. Okay, so we got one more. He says, I mean, if I gave feedback but wasn't happy with the end result, then yeah, I guess I'd have to be honest and say I didn't like it then. I didn't go on hoping to dislike it, but what I got to say, what we said, whatever. But again, this is after launch. He's bashing it after launch. End of. So I just put, yeah, I'm going to sleep now. I'll check these videos out over the weekend. It's now fucking Monday night. So, yeah, I was working over the weekend, but, you know, didn't get a chance to look at them. But I just want to throw this out there because I think this is very important. I mean, this is very important because it's an insight into what Favin believes. Okay, so I'm saying, my claim that he didn't bash the game before launch, to me, that's a fact. It is a fact. Now, you're going to claim like, oh, well, he was bashing the drop shield or something. That's not real bashing. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying bash it in a serious fashion. Okay? Which I explained in the comments there. Right? So, the speculation comes in is, why? Okay? He's saying it's because he became a father, he didn't have time to make the videos, blah, blah, fucking blah. But we're all going to speculate that it's because he was working at 343. We're all going to speculate that it's because he's working behind the scenes in the Forerunner program. That he didn't bash the game before launch. The same as all these other jokers. It's not just him. Did any of these other clowns bash the game before launch? Find me any Forerunner that bashed the game before launch. 4. Microtransactions. No co-op. No forge. No game modes. Live service. Battle passes, any of that kind of stuff. Weapon lockers on the fucking wall. That wasn't in that fucking shit. He never fucking talked about that before launch. No serious fashion, man, was this game bashed. By Favin. And by any of these Forerunners. So we can only speculate that 343 would have looked unfavourably on that. In some fashion. That's the speculation. So let me know what you think, guys. Feel free to subscribe. I know this has been a long video. If you're still here at the end, thank you. And I'll see you soon.
Oh!